started. Okay. All right. Can you all see my screen?
It's Cadet News and Innovations, your annual update on what's new and on the horizon for the Civil Air Patrol Cadet Program. I'm Kurt LaFond, Director of Cadet Programs. Here is a summary listing of today's topics. Also, we want to hear from you. If you have questions or comments, please use the chat. This presentation is available in newsletter form too. Download it via the Cadet blog, gocivilairpatrol.com/cadet blog. Our cover image and this deck's theme is the helicopter Ingenuity, which achieved the first powered flight on another planet. A Cadet alum named Rebecca Oppenheim helped design the blades. The artwork is from a creator who goes by the name Gem Hunter 178. We've placed the Cadets core curriculum online. Leadership in aerospace content for achievements 1 through 11 will become available as interactive web-based modules. Cadet Interactive increases engagement with the leadership in aerospace subject matter while offering an alternative to a written test. Most cadets will spend about 30 minutes on each module. During the online experience, they'll complete mini quizzes, matching tasks, listen to some audio content, and interact more deeply with the subject matter than most cadets have been doing with traditional written tests. Successful completion of the module satisfies the cadets' promotion requirement. Still, cadets who lack web access can still go for the written tests. Importantly, the Milestone Award exams remain unchanged. Milestone Award exams remain closed book, multiple choice exams. Here's another reform to the academic side of cadet life, one the cadets will gratefully receive. Milestone Award exam content is slightly adjusted. We've eliminated redundancies. Now, at the end of each phase, the cadet is responsible for showing mastery of the subject matter presented during that phase. No longer are the exams cumulative, except at the spots. This small adjustment should make the cadet program system a bit less like school and a bit more friendly to today's generation of overscheduled cadets. And if you have eagle eyes, you see the Mitchell covers 7, not 6 modules in aerospace dimensions. More about the new cyber module a bit later. Cadet Interactive's web-based leadership and aerospace modules will likely become the cadets' preferred way to rank up. For cadets who want to set themselves apart from their peers and demonstrate a solid knowledge of Learn to Lead and aerospace dimensions, we're introducing the new Honor Credit program. If a cadet completes both Cadet Interactive modules for a given achievement and completes the traditional written tests, they earn Honor Credit and their e-services record gets annotated accordingly. To recognize these overachievers, Honor Credit cadets can affix a silver star to the respective achievement ribbon. Note that Honor Credit applies only to achievements, not milestone awards, because again, milestone award standards remain as is, marked by a closed book milestone award exam. Honor Credit becomes available on October 5th. COVID caused us to waive several cadet rules and regs. Does it make sense to carry forward any of those changes in the post-COVID era? We're allowing cadets to earn their first stripe, even if they do not yet have a uniform. A lot of cadet programs officers have pointed out the weird dynamics where you need a uniform to earn cadet airman, but you can't obtain the Curry Blues voucher until you earn cadet airman. This policy change reduces the burden on cadets who rely upon their voucher for their uniform. Research found that in most ROTC programs, cadets are not issued uniforms until they complete their first semester. The uniform's value as a training tool is enhanced when new cadets have to work hard to earn the uniform privilege versus they're earning that privilege solely by joining CAP. These changes take effect on September 1st. Additionally, we're exploring ways to adjust the Curry Blues voucher. Can or should we increase the financial value of that voucher for needy cadets, giving the program a SEEP-like flavor? And should we expand the voucher's options to allow ABU purchases? We don't have answers to those questions yet, but we welcome your input. In the wake of COVID, we know there's a huge appetite for adventure-based learning. Cadets want to push themselves beyond their normal comfort zones. They want to get their hands dirty so they can learn and grow. We want to increase opportunities for gung-ho experiences like those. One step toward that vision is a new classification system for adventure-based activities. High adventure activities, HAAs, remain available. Events like firearms training, rappelling, high ropes courses, and other events that demand an extra dose of risk management remain HAAs. They continue to require wing approval. But between HAAs and ordinary squadron meetings are a new category of events we're calling challenge activities. Unit commanders validate the risk controls before authorizing challenge activities. How do adult leaders know if a challenge activity or an HAA is observing the right risk controls to keep everyone safe in the first place? Well, until now, that job was left to the squadrons and the wings. But thanks to a superb resource from the Girl Scouts, a safety checkpoints manual lists dozens of adventure-based learning opportunities and identifies the main risks for each, along with the suitable risk controls. So now if a squadron wants to do something cool like go mountain biking, the project officer opens the Girl Scout Safety Activity Checkpoints Manual, reads up on the major risks and the recommended risk controls, and then uses that info to help them complete the usual CAP Form 160 process. Next, it goes over to the unit commander for a double check before approving. Look to the Cadet Protection Regulation, CAP Reg 60-2, for details about high adventure activities and challenge activities. We think this reform will increase opportunities for cadets to do adventure-based learning by providing adult leaders with practical tools to keep the cadets safe. The eagerly awaited cyber defense module within the Aerospace Dimensions series launches on October 5th. Some cadets have already developed cyber expertise through Cyber Patriot and our national and local cyber activities. Now, awareness of the cyber domain, the Air Force's third domain of security, of course, after air and space, is going to reach the full cadet corps thanks to this new module. Beginning on September 1st, cadets attempting to complete Achievement 8 must fulfill an aerospace requirement. In practical reality, all Achievement 8 cadets in the next few months will do cyber at Achievement 8. But brand new cadets might place it first or third or wherever they choose along their path to the Mitchell, just like how they freely sequence the other Dimensions modules now. The cyber module includes some cool hands-on activities suitable for Tuesday night squadron meetings. So if you have some of those Cyber Patriot alumni in your squadron, tap them to help lead those activities. Hard copy editions of the text become available later this fall or by January 1st. The slide identifies when the hard copies ship to the cadets and the squadrons. And finally on this topic, I want to give a thanks to doctoral student Lacey Wicks at the University of Alabama, who developed the module under the supervision of professors Jeff Carver and Travis Atkinson. There's never been a better time for cadets who want to fly. CAP's Cadet Wings program is now transforming more than 50 cadets into licensed private pilots every year, covering virtually every dollar of the cadets' flight training. Furthermore, the Takeoff program covers cadet tuition at flight academies that can lead to a cadet's first solo flight. The cadets' success as young aviators is drawing attention. Now comes the Ray Foundation with its mission to support life skills through aviation. They're investing $500,000 in the coming year. That extra $500,000 will transform another 30 cadets into pilots, giving us a grand total of 80 or more cadets becoming licensed private pilots each year. I probably should pause right there so that cadet alumni from the previous century, people like yours truly, can catch their breath, because holy cow, it's never been easier for cadets to obtain a pilot's license. And as we adjust cadet wings in the wake of the Ray Foundation's generous gift, we'll be working hard to bring the whole program into maturity. We'll tighten some cadet wings processes and aim for a new level of efficiency so that Cadet Wings really delivers for cadets in America. If you're a cadet who wants to fly, or if you know a great cadet whose dream deserves support, please go to our website for more info. GoCivilAirPatrol.com/Cadet Wings. Cadet Wings is so awesome, you'd think every cadet would know all about it. Actually, fewer than 1/3 of cadets know about Cadet Wings. The Cadet Encampment Assistance Program, CEAP, and NCSAs are also not as well known as they ought to be. Not only is that lack of awareness unfortunate for the individual cadets, it means that our mission is less effective than it could, because awesome activities that should pull cadets up through the program are unable to fuel their progress in the ranks. How can we spread the word? How can we help cadets and parents know everything that a new cadet ought to know? We've updated the new cadet guide, the hard copy resource included in the new cadet kit that arrives at the cadet's door within 3 weeks of their joining. Furthermore, we've added to Achievement 1 an extra cadet interactive module called the Cadet Welcome Course. The Cadet Welcome Course will help families understand what activities and what financial aid programs are available to them. Speaking of getting cadets off to a good start, we've updated the Personal Cadet Tracker. It's a poster-sized resource for cadets to track their path to the Mitchell and then from the Mitchell to the spots. The Personal Cadet Tracker even prompts cadets to plan to attend a campment during their first cadet year. Cadets will receive the Phase 1 and 2 tracker upon joining, when they receive their new cadet kit in the mail. After earning the Mitchell, cadet officers receive the Phase 3 and 4 tracker in the cadet officer kit that's sent to their door. Here's a glimpse of the Personal Cadet Tracker for Phase 1 and 2. Perhaps it's not readable on your screen, but each card on the tracker prompts the cadet to set a goal date for completing that achievement. Also, there's a place for the cadet to record their earning the new honor credit we discussed a few moments ago. Keep in mind that the Personal Cadet Tracker does not replace the official personnel record in e-services. It's a visual aid for cadets to use at home. So cadet NCOs, tell your new airmen to tack the tracker to their bedroom wall and start charting their path to the Mitchell and beyond. Next, cadet protection. We contracted with an outside expert who reviewed our policies, practices, and training materials. Is CPP still up to date? Yes. CPP meets or surpasses the standard of care expected from youth organizations like ours. Still, everything can be improved, so our expert helped us tweak the program. Here's a summary. HAAs and challenge activities. Well, that was part of the review, and we've already covered it in this talk. So, number 2, disclosure. Cadets report a solid level of trust in their senior members. Heaven forbid, if a cadet is abused outside of CAP, maybe at sports or in a club, he or she may seek help from a senior member as a trusted, caring adult. Therefore, we've updated the reg and are in the process of updating the training materials to convey the expectation that if a cadet discloses to a senior they're being abused, the senior must bring that news forward. Virtual activities. Like in-person activities, virtual cadet activities rely upon too deep leadership to keep everyone safe. During COVID, some people were confused as to how to apply that to the virtual environment. Imagine the Cadet Advisory Council is meeting virtually. 2 senior advisors are online. The cadets want to go in breakout rooms for committee work. If you have 3 breakout rooms, how many seniors do you need? Don't overthink it. It's just 2. Online breakout rooms are akin to an in-person group of cadets dispersing to various corners of the building. The 2 adults roam through the breakout rooms, offering assistance when needed and supervising the cadets. It's not necessary to have 2 adults in every breakout room, nor is it necessary to even have 1 adult constantly present. Have the adults cycle through the breakout rooms as they would at an in-person event. Cadet wings. Too deep leadership is basically impossible in flight training. CPP already sets special requirements and extra precautions for flight training environments. Still, we can do even better. We'll be implementing something called resistance training for cadets. Actually, it's a great life skill for young adults. If a colleague, here a flight instructor, is flirting with you, being a bit too touchy-feely within the tight confines of a cockpit, what do? How can young adults assert themselves in relationships fraught with power imbalances? We'll be working with outside experts to provide cadet wing students with training in those areas. Last, progressive discipline. When it comes to disciplinary measures, recall that 60-1 establishes some guidelines so that those experiences are positive and teachable moments. What's new is that if a cadet receives what the reg calls a moderate semi-public intervention, such as being excluded from an activity or removed from a staff position or delayed from earning a promotion due to misconduct, local leaders are now expected to communicate that to the parents. A phone call or a short verbal discussion at the meeting is sufficient. Turn your mind to Achievement 5, which confers the grade of Cadet Tech Sergeant. Although Charles Lindbergh's incredible feat of airmanship as the first to fly solo nonstop across the Atlantic remains a milestone in aviation history, his legacy of racial bias conflicts with the core values. Shown here is just one quote from Lindbergh that ought to churn our stomach. At this moment, American society is taking a critical look at the personal values and not merely the accomplishments of individuals honored as namesakes for awards and buildings. This inflection point led CAP to make a similar examination. Our core value of respect calls us to defend the dignity of the human person in America's diverse society. Consequently, CAP can no longer support having a cadet achievement named for Charles Lindbergh. Effective October 5th, the 5th achievement is named simply Achievement 5. Colonel Lindbergh's name is withdrawn from the canon of aerospace pioneers that lend their names to cadet achievements and awards. Cadets will continue to learn of Lindbergh's transatlantic solo flight as part of their aviation history curriculum. They'll continue to progress through the ranks by fulfilling the usual Achievement 5 requirements, earning the traditional yellow and black ribbon along the way, only the achievement name is changed. And Achievement 5 being unnamed, as it were, is not unusual. 5 other achievements stand without assistance from an aerospace pioneer, and that's fine. Those vacancies give CAP leaders room to honor aerospace pioneers sometime from now. To wrap up, watch your mailboxes this fall. Squadrons will receive hard copies of the new and revised products I've already mentioned. That's the new cadet guide, the personal cadet trackers, and an updated poster-sized super chart for the squadron bulletin board. And also the cyber module for aerospace dimensions, although we may choose to send that text separately so as not to delay the other materials. We'll see how quickly the graphics people and the printers can do their work. This summer, thousands of cadets were out in the field, attending encampments, exploring career opportunities, flying, and serving their communities. Cadets can do it. Thank you for participating in the CAP Virtual National Conference, and thank you for supporting the cadets. For the CAP National Cadet Team, this is Kurt LaFond. You can reach us at cadets@capnhq.gov. Thank you. It's Cadet News and Innovations, your annual update.
Muted. I was muted. I'm sorry. Okay. So, any thoughts?
I think that was a lot of stuff that was for the better. I noticed that a lot of the new changes that he's implementing are really going to help keep the newer cadets in and really draw them in. And I'm excited about like the new module that he was talking about. And I thought it was pretty cool to hear about the one cadet that actually helped design the helicopter that flew on Mars. I was really invested into that when it happened. I didn't know a cadet helped design it, previous cadet.
Good. Good. So, yes, it was really full of information, and I will let you know that that video is on National's website under Cadet Blog. If you guys ever want to go back and watch it again, try to catch something that you might have missed. There is a lot of things happening. You're right. So some of it affects all of the cadets. Some of it is really going to affect newer cadets. But I'm hoping that it will enhance the program in a way that all the cadets will be a little more engaged in the program from beginning to end. One of the things that I've been stressing since I took my position is encouraging and enhancing and providing opportunities to Phase 3 and Phase 4 cadets. Historically, they get to that point, and that's when cadets tend to get jobs, get cars, get girlfriends and boyfriends, and their priorities change. But they didn't always have all the information required to know what benefits CAP still offers a Phase 3 and a Phase 4 cadet. College scholarships. I mean, how often do you talk about the scholarships that are available at your squadron through Civil Air Patrol? Cadet Worthen, I think I see you on there. Yes. Good afternoon, ma'am. One of the comments that Mr. LaFawn mentioned made me think of you, Cadet Worthen, because of your question in the prior session about scholarships. The takeoff program is exactly what you're looking for National Cadet Flight Academies. So go in and look at the Cadet Invest pages, excuse me, at the national website. Cadet Invest is a one application, but it covers all of the scholarship opportunities. And the one that covers the cost of flight academies is called the Cadet Takeoff Program. So you may want to look at that and check it out. We did have a cadet year before last earn that, and it not only covered the cost of the activity, they also paid for his travel to and from the activity. So it was really, really well worth it. So I'm very exciting about that. Okay, so what do you guys think about it, the Cadet Interactive? Did he give you enough information to have an idea of what it is or what you're looking at?
Yes, I think that whole video was just very well put together. It gave all the information without really overdoing it. It was really just, this is what's happening, and
Pretty
I think honestly, a lot of, like, I know I'm going to be showing it during our next online meeting. I'm going to see if we can get that video and actually show it to our cadets during the meetings, because I feel like that's something that everybody should see. I
agree. One of the things that's also coming out on the 26th, when a new cadet joins Civil Air Patrol and goes online, their first class that they're going to take is a welcome module. And it kind of goes through the new cadet guide and gives them and their parents information about CAP that probably is not always shared as a new cadet comes into the ranks, because some of the information is just not, we don't think about it. You know, we get them in, we try to get them in a uniform, get them trained and acclimate them into the squadron. And, you know, there's a lot that gets lost in translation. So that new cadet welcome module is going to be very helpful, I think, in that regard. So the very first interactive module will be the cadet welcome module. So it's pretty cool. And I like the fact that they are giving you cadets options. You can do it either way, or you can do both ways and get a silver star on your ribbon. That's pretty cool. Did you all understand what he was saying about the milestone changes to the milestone awards? They are not going to be accumulative from beginning to end. They are only going to be accumulative for that phase. For example, the Wright brothers obviously will only cover 1 through 3. The Mitchell Award will only cover 4 through 7, and so on. The only test that's going to cover your entire CAP education will be the SPOTS exam. So that should be very helpful because it'll help cadets kind of streamline their studies. And hopefully, as you go through your achievements, you'll pay a little more attention and actually really get into the information rather than cramming just for an online test. Excuse me. Okay. So the milestone test, the honor credit, what did you all think about that?
Personally, I think it's a really cool idea, the honor credit system. I was just a little confused on how it's going to work. They kind of lost me on how you actually get the honor credit. Could you possibly get back over that?
Absolutely. So let's say you've decided for achievement 6 to do the interactive module. And you go through and you complete it and you're successful, and you can, at that point, you can rank up. You've done what's required for promotion as far as your testing goes. You still need to do your drill and the other elements, but some cadets, they just want to kind of do it all, and they really like the shiny things on their uniform. So National is allowing cadets to also take the traditional online test or written test. So the traditional test that's on there now, you can take that, and if you pass it, then you can receive honor credit for that achievement. So for achievement 5, you've taken the test like you would normally take anyway, and you've completed the interactive. So you will receive honor credit. It will show in your e-services training, and you can put the silver star on your ribbon for just that achievement. Okay, you have to, for each achievement that you want to receive honor credit, you have to do both the testing, traditional testing, and the cadet interactive. One of the questions that came up when I was in an interactive meeting with National Cadet Programs team was, can cadets who are currently in the program go back and take the interactive for prior achievements? And I believe the answer was yes. So if you want to spend some time, and I think that's actually a good idea for any cadet who's really looking to setting their goals for the SPOTS, because it'll be a refresher, and we'll cover all those achievements. So, excuse me, so that's a good thing. Yes, Worthen, we are recording this puppy. So, okay, so the new cadets and uniforms, that's going to change in a lot of squadrons, and it's going to stay the same in a lot of squadrons because we have not all been doing the same thing. And you still don't have to. I mean, if you have, excuse me, issues with cadets getting their uniform, their blues uniform, before or after they earn their achievement, their Curry achievement, the regulation is now going to allow squadrons to use the uniform as an enticement to earn their Curry, as opposed to, requiring that they have their uniform to earn their Curry. A lot of discussion was had about, what are we going to do with cadets that are not in uniforms, as far as having them attend meetings and training and that type of thing. The squadrons, you guys, I know Clarksburg does, I know Charleston does. Most of our squadrons have a squadron t-shirt. I would issue that to the cadet and have them wear it with some khakis, and that would be their uniform. That way, if you got new cadets, they'd all be dressed alike. They'd still be uniform. They just would not be wearing the military style uniform until they get their Curry. Again, it's an option. You can do it. Your squadrons can do it however you choose. It might be a good discussion for the cadets to have and make a recommendation to your senior members. So I thought that was interesting and a good thought, because yes, there is that little gap between cadets earning their Curry and cadets getting the voucher for the blues uniform. And if you do have cadets that come in that, you know, have some hardships that might, you know, they might not be able to buy a uniform. I don't know how many squadrons actually require people to buy uniforms in West Virginia. I think most of our squadrons are able to issue them, but some units issue the ABU uniform and then wait for the voucher for the blues. So however you want to do it, just be consistent and be very thoughtful of all of your members. And, you know, part of the point of a uniform is for everyone to be on the same playing field. Everybody is equal, and everybody has the same opportunities in front of them. So that's something to think about also. In Charleston, we use the Great Start program. When we bring in groups of new folks, we put them in T-shirts until they've gotten their curry. So there's no right or wrong. Just make sure you're doing it thoughtfully and it's consistent. All right, so Petrosky, I'm currently trying to find the video you showed us. So, okay, if you go to National's website and go to Cadet Programs, there's a drop-down list there. Go to Cadet Blog, and then you will see Innovations. So what's that thing called? Cadet News and Innovations. Click on that, and it'll have the video at the top of the page and the actual document at the bottom of the page. Okay. The adventure activities, I'm so glad they're starting to talk about those a little bit more. I know a lot of our folks, I don't know about other wings, but I know a lot of folks in our wing will refuse certain activity requests because they're not on task, their objectives are not mission oriented, or whatever reason. Someone may not want their squadron cadets to go on a bike hike, or some type of, you know, I took cadets kayaking once. And don't tell your squadron commander I said this, but, you know, if there is objections because it's not directly related to one of CAP's missions, you can always say, but sir, if you look at our new fitness program, it will help us. Because most everything you guys want to do is physical. And I think that we do need to start doing more of those types of activities, because that is fun. You guys are getting out, you're getting physical, you're learning things. It might not be how to use an ELT or a DF, but there is a lot more to the world, you know, also. So, so look into the challenge adventures and the, okay. I was a Girl Scout, and I was very excited to see Kurt LaFond offering up the Girl Scout Safety Checkpoint Manual. Don't make fun of it. It is an awesome document. I have looked at it. I have printed it and put it in a 3-ring binder. It's got some great information in it. And that's all I'm going to say about that. But it's online. It's available online. It's not something I'm going to tell everybody to print because it's 185 pages, but it is available online. All right. Anybody have any questions about anything so far that we've covered? All right, let's see what else was on that. Anything else on that video that you guys want to ask about or inquire about? Again, the new date for the beginning of those is October 26th, not October 5. They did announce that change. Or I think it was October 4th or 5th when they made that announcement. There's going to be a lot of, when those changes go into effect, a lot of our publications are going to change. The Cadet Programs Management Regulation is going to change. Let's see here. Cadet publications. The super chart's changing. The Cadet Tracker's changing. The new Cadet Guide. Oh, it is so awesome. You guys are going to love it. The new Cadet Guide is going to be extremely new and updated. Some of the other publications that they're changing is going to be the Parents Guide. You know, I'm hoping that you guys are taking advantage of the Parents Guide. The new Cadet Guide, the Cadet Wings Administrative Guide is changing. They're going to finally complete the Cadet competition pamphlet, although there's not a deadline on that one yet, but we're still working on that. We're still looking for that. There's a new form now to request the SPOTS exam. It is also available online, so any cadets who are getting close, they need to look at the new regulation and take advantage of that request form for their SPOTS exam. Those are the highlights, ladies and gentlemen, and there is a lot. There really is. Also, if you go onto the national website under the publications library, the drop-down menu on the left, if you go pretty close to the bottom of it, you'll see something called publications under review. All of the publications that are being updated are there. If you want to see the drafts to see what's changing, anything that's changed will be highlighted in gray. So if you want to go and look at those things, by all means do that. I will be having, and make sure you share this with your squadrons, I will be having another cadet programs workshop for senior leaders in January. And so we're going to be covering a few other, hopefully very important topics to make our program just even better here in West Virginia. So one more time, does anybody have any questions? Feel free to speak up.
Yes, ma'am. I thought about this for, I believe it was the Girl Scout things where the cadets can go out and do these activities now, like the mountain biking or going on a hike or something like that.
Still have to go.
Is there funding for it if you were doing something that did cost, like an activity that costed money?
That would be a decision at your squadron. If you guys, for example, if you go and you do a kayaking trip and there's a rental fee for the kayaks, the squadron, you guys would have to discuss that at squadron, get it on the budget if the squadron wants to cover it, or it may be something where if everybody brings $10, we can do this and squadron cover the difference. That is a squadron decision. If you guys want to do something that involves a cost like that, that would be something that you guys, maybe you want to do a fundraiser to cover it. There's options, but no, it's not something where CAP, for example, would necessarily cover that cost. But again, there are options if it's something that you guys really want to do.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I would like to note for you guys and welcome Colonel J.D. Ellis. He's been on our meeting. I don't know what you call these things. He is the Mid-Atlantic Region Cadet Programs Director. And sir, I welcome you and offer you a moment if you'd like to speak to our small audience.
Sure. It's a pleasure being here. Thank you for the warm words. I'm really glad to be here. And before I even talk about this session today, I just want to say I had such a great time during my couple of days at the West Virginia Wing encampment this summer. It was too short and too small, meaning
that's true.
All with the 3 activities during the summer: the West Virginia Wing encampment, the Tri-Wing encampment, and the Mid-Atlantic Region Honor Guard Academy, and all of them were literally 50% of their normal size. So I'm hoping in 2022 we'll be back up to full strength for all the activities as well. And I would like to get back to certainly the West Virginia Wing encampment and spend a little bit more, even more time the next time I'm there. And I was happy to see 3 West Virginia Wing cadets shortly thereafter at the Honor Guard Academy that I talked to. So that was great. Anyway, this session is real important, as Major Butler Case talked about. We got a lot of changes in the cadet program. I think this is certainly one of the most, if not the most significant amount of significant changes in the cadet program at one time. So it's a lot to absorb. So I can't stress enough to go into the regulations 60-1 especially, but all the regulations that changed, the forms that changed, visual aids, and the pamphlets that changed. So you get a good idea, and it's going to take a while. We want to minimize the time that it takes to get across and down, right, to the squads or to the individual cadets. I've seen changes take place in Civil Air Patrol, and then 4 or 5 years later, people are just finding out the change. That's not a good thing, right? So let's get the word out, and the best we can in any way that we can about all these changes. We just touched the highlights, and I really recommend going to especially 60-1 and looking, as pointed out, at those changes that are highlighted in gray, so you can just pick out those changes and be aware. You know, like a little change, like the Cadet Advisory Council was only the primary could wear the cord and the ribbon. It is they changed it, so now only the primary can wear the cord, but the assistant representative can now wear the ribbon. So that's one of the little changes highlighted in gray. It's just little changes like that. So please get a chance. We look at CEP Regulation 60-1. Certainly the changes in the Cadet Protection Regulation, CEP Reg 60-2. There's a new Cadet at School regulation that came out for school programs and associated forms and everything else for that program. Just on and on and on and on. So just be aware. We'll certainly work together to get the word out to everyone across the wing and the wings and the region and the nation, so that people are aware of these major changes. Any questions for me?
Thank you, sir. When I first took this position here in West Virginia, one of the things that really surprised me was when I spoke with cadets from around the wing. They didn't know what the Spots Award was. So I was quickly figured out why we were not having any Spots cadets. So that was one of the areas that I've enhanced and tried to focus on, as I mentioned at the beginning of this session, Phase 3 and Phase 4 cadets. So, but thank you for your support, and thank you for joining us today. It's really good to see you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was really impressed about the $1,000
Wasn't it awesome?
program. That is incentive.
And I've got a couple cadets right now who are chomping at the bit. They're so close. I've got one cadet who only has to take the leadership test one more time. Mm-hmm. And I've got another cadet that has to, kind of take his second shot at it. But yes, we're really excited, and I've got cadets up and coming that are in line and have their goals set. So I think we're on the right track, and I'm hoping to make some additional changes as we move forward. Here in West Virginia, one of the things that we're doing is in the spring, Petrosky, you might want to pay attention to this. In the spring, we're going to have a Cadet Leadership Academy, and there's going to be a class for NCOs, there's going to be a class for officers, and at the same time, we're going to be doing training for leaders of cadets. That kind of forces the squadrons to make sure they get the cadets there, because we have senior members coming. And then hopefully before encampment, we're going to have a weekend basic cadet school. So those are all new and up and coming in our wing. So I'm excited about that. The NCO school, the academy, is going to be held at Camp Dawson. So it'll be a really, really nice program. So, all right, folks. Well, I'm going to take about a 10-minute break. I think the next session starts at 1:15. So I guess I'm taking a 6-minute break. You guys, we're gonna have some fun for about an hour, 45 minutes, whatever they let us do. So you all take 5, and I'll see you back here. All right, thanks.
Take care, everyone.
Take care.